Welcome to another episode of Behind the Shades. It's your host, Terraine, and there's something that I want to discuss with each and every one of you. This is something that I think needs to be addressed and is not really talked about because it deals with food. And one of the biggest concerns, at least in the last number of years, is the rise of sugar in so many products, right? Like we have all these different types of addictions. Most commonly known are porn addiction, sexual addiction, addiction to men, addiction to women, addiction to money. But when it comes to sugar, it's more like it's like a silent killer. More and more people are getting diabetes. More and more people are getting overweight. More and more people are getting health related issues. More and more people are unable to maneuver and navigate their lives in the way that they would want to, because sugar is such a comforting food or ingredient, to be more accurate. So for example, how many of us, when we're sad or when we're watching a movie, when we're trying to relax and feel better, we grab something and we consume it, right? We don't look at how healthy or unhealthy the product is. We just want to make sure that I had a stressful day and I'm going to put all my stresses in this tub of ice cream. I had an argument with my spouse and I'm going to put all my pain and suffering and uneasiness and anxiety into that chocolate bar. We consume our problems. It gives us a temporary fix. It makes us feel good in ways that we wish someone else would in that moment in time, but they're not around to do so. Our fridge and the contents of our fridge have replaced positive and healthy relationships. We no longer need that shoulder to cry on. I can get a bag of chips and cry into the chips as I consume it. We no longer want to speak to someone about our problems because we can turn to a chocolate bar and it won't judge us. It won't hold us accountable. It won't hold us responsible. It is just there to assist us in silence in our time of need. Food, especially sweet food, won't judge us, hold us accountable, make us responsible, or ask us to change. That is why food, especially food filled with sugar, is so dangerous. It provides us an outlet that not only doesn't make us feel worse, but in some ways makes us feel better, at least for that moment in time. We've all gone to a friend or a family member or seek advice where maybe it made us feel worse. And by worse, it made us feel worse in a way that it pointed out things that we had to change, things that we had to stop doing, things that we had to start doing. Food doesn't have that. Food is exactly the type of therapy that you would need. It's a judgment free zone, like it's Planet Fitness. It doesn't ever make you feel worse in the moment. But here's the part that is difficult for a lot of people to accept, and why I truly think food, especially sugar, is so dangerous. It's a progressive decrease of yourself. Things get worse, but it's a slower transition to that. You look in the mirror, you're like, something's not a little bit right, but it's not enough to trigger a change. It's just enough to catch your eye until you are so far gone, so deep in it. Then you start to realize, why am I out of breath when I used to walking up these stairs where 6 months ago I wasn't? Why can't I fit into that dress? Why can't I button up my pants? Why is that shirt feeling more tight and I haven't been to the gym? Why am I not able to play with my children in the way that I used to last year? One of the best ways to understand the importance of living a healthy life, or at least a life of consciousness when it comes to your choices and the things that you consume, is if you have children and you were to ask your children if they can have you for another 10 more years, another 5 more years, Instead of having you until the age of 45, they can have you to the age of 55. What do you think your children would tell you? They would tell you that they want their father as long as possible. They would want their mother as long as possible. That's how we should look at things. Not only are you doing it for yourselves, you're doing it for those around you. If you could have a loved one who passed on a few more years, wouldn't you want to have them around for a few more years? That's how we have to start looking at the things that we consume. And sugar and food that is not benefiting us in any way needs to be immediately addressed because it's a hindrance on your life.